¿Qué pasa, hombre?
¿Todo bien?
Muy bien. ¿Y tu nombre?
Leonardo.
Leonardo. ¿De dónde eres?
Bueno, it's Spanish and English.
Where are you from?
What, Spanish? English? English?
Do it in English.
So I'm Italian. My whole family, both my dad and my mom are from Italy. I was born in Venezuela. After 8 years, I moved to Panama, where I lived almost all my life. Before I moved to China, and then I came here.
So you came here from China?
Yeah.
How long were you in China?
For like a year, couple months.
So who's moving around? Your mom or your dad?
Myself.
Yeah, you went to China on your own before you came here? It's like a gap year?
No, so when you graduate from high school in Panama, you actually get from November until August to actually come here. So I took that kind of like free time I got to just learn about a new culture and a new language.
So you are this Hispanic Italian guy, right? You're Italian, but there are people in this class who would be considered Latinos or Hispanics. How many people consider themselves to be Hispanic, but they don't?
All sitting right there.
But they don't speak Spanish, and they don't speak Spanish. Okay, or have never been to Latin America. How much? So, but you'd be considered Hispanic, right? Okay, so this guy so you're Italian, but you're like totally Hispanic. I mean, Venezuela and Panama.
Basically. Yeah, basically.
And you speak Spanish fluently.
Yeah.
Y italiano?
Parliamo l'italiano, fa niente.
Okay. And did you learn some Chinese when you were?
我会说中文，没问题。
Yeah. What is like something that for somebody who's lived your life that people don't understand? Do you think people don't understand? Like here you are sitting up here, people are looking at you. What do they probably not understand about you?
That I feel like it's really interesting that I can basically, when I meet someone that it's not from the places I've lived, I basically compare their personalities, compare the way they kind of like interact with people, and it gives me an idea how to like learn to interact with that people. I think that's really like something that a lot of people don't see, that it's really important for me to like kind of like, that I think it's really important for a lot of people to go and travel and go actually see what is people like in other places. Because the way you talk to a Chinese person is not exactly the way you talk to an American person or to a Latino person.
Okay,
Okay,
no, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, no, so basically the way everything, even I do business, like my major is business, so the way even you do business is totally different. The way you will do business in China, you'll go and have a dinner with someone and make business. Rather in America, you'll go to their office, or maybe in Latin America, you go to a bar. You know what I mean? And there's so many different perspectives that you gotta know. You cannot just know the language. You actually should like understand the culture in order to interact with people.
Yeah, that's like my experience in the Arab world is you get down to business. Like on the third or fourth meeting that you have with someone, you have coffee and tea, and then later you get to it. So what did you learn about, here's my last question for you. What did you learn about yourself and your experience of the world being in China?
Actually, I think the most important thing I learned is that I learn from people. And it's something that I have come to realize right after I came to the US, that if I want to know about someone's culture, I won't just go and read a book or just go online. I'll just straight up go to someone and ask them, what's your culture like? What do you like to do? And that's primarily how I got to learn the Chinese culture. And that's how I got to learn most of the American culture. There's some stuff I have no clue what you guys are doing and I do not understand. But I'm, working on it.
You'll pick it up, man. Like how to do the wave at the football game or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom's from Denmark, born and raised up until her 20s, and my dad's from the United States.
From the United States.
And I was adopted from China.
And you're adopted from China.
Yes.
And so you're living in between all these worlds, right?
Yeah. And I have dual citizenship in Denmark, so that's pretty cool too.
Denmark and here. How often do you go back there?
When I was younger, I think I went back a lot more than I do now. I haven't been back since 7th grade.
So do you feel less Okay, so your father's American? Mm-hmm. White American?
Yeah.
So they're both white. You're adopted. Do you feel more? What, are you adopted as an American child, or are you adopted in the U.S. or in Denmark?
So I was adopted from China. So my parents flew to China, and then I came back to the States.
To the States.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. All right, man. So do you feel more? Do you feel like when let's say you're in Denmark versus in the United States, where do you feel most like kind of just in the middle, like, I don't know, just grounded? Can you answer that question at all?
That question is kind of confusing. Can you reword it?
Yeah,
Is
like,
there,
okay,
a different way
so
to word
I'm
it?
imagining you as, okay, being adopted
Yeah.
with white parents. So you're in the middle of this all the time,
Yeah.
right? These different worlds. How is that for you, being in the different worlds?
I actually think it's kind of cool for like Christmas. We celebrate Christmas on like the 25th, and in Denmark it's on the 24th. So things like that. I celebrate it on both days. Like we'll have a really, really big Christmas dinner on the 24th, and then we'll open presents. And then on the 20th, like some presents or one present, because we do celebrate the majority of it on Christmas, opening all our presents and like sitting around a tree. But I think that's cool. And we always have like an Advent candle. So each day we burn it down. And then we have like the little chocolate calendars, which I don't think a lot of Americans do.
So your parents are both Christians?
Yeah.
And you're Christian as well?
Yes.
Yeah. And so how is it, so the interstices, right? Living in between worlds. So you're also in between these worlds. To what degree do you feel, just being of Chinese ancestry, just genetically speaking, right? Because people see you.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, she's Asian. I feel
so
like,
what happens? What's that like? Like, how is that for you?
Well, I mean, like, I grew up in a really small town, so, like, everybody knows that I grew up white. I'm just kind of like that. But here, I don't know. I feel like some people may think that I have, like, Asian parents or something like that, but I come off as really, like, white.
So how often do you talk about it? Like, being in the middle of this?
Sometimes, not too often.
And cool. And do you feel really grounded?
Yeah, like I'm good where I am. You know, I like living into having a bunch of different backgrounds, because the funny thing is my sister's Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So she experiences kind of the same thing. So we kind of have that same, we're adopted from Asia. We're both have white parents. We kind of can relate to each other like that. And we're also both females. So it's not like I have a brother who's also adopted. So we connect really well.
But totally different countries.
Yeah, totally different countries, which is cool too. And some people, I think it's funny. Some people are like, "Oh, you guys look so much alike," and then other people's like, "No, you don't."
Yeah, totally.
And to me, I'm like, "No, I don't look anything like her."
Yeah. That goes back to that class that we did when I had people on faces. Yo, very cool. All right, man. Any hidden struggles?
I think I struggled more when I was in elementary school, because I was the only Asian kid, so sometimes people would pick on me. But like now I'm really comfortable with stuff and like myself. I know in like high school I'd wear a lot of makeup just to like feel better. Everybody was wearing makeup, so I tried to do the same thing. And like I also have these Asian eyes that not a lot of people had, but like now I'm really confident with who I am and like what I look like.
So what's the coolest thing about being you? Being you, adopted from another country that nobody else would understand, that most other people wouldn't understand?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
The coolest thing about being me, I think it's that I have family. Like my entire mom's side of the family is in Denmark, and like my grandfather's actually coming in on the 23rd, and he's spending that till like the 29th of December with us and spending the entire Christmas season. So I think that's really cool, because that gives like the Danish aspect.
Yeah.
Like just closer. And I know that like we do other things during Christmas, like we like go around the tree, sing like Danish songs, because that's kind of like a Danish tradition.
Yeah.
There's other things like that I think are cool that aren't necessarily from like me being Asian, but I definitely like connect more with being like Danish in a sense.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
my mom's from there, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, very cool. All right, man. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah.